Hello, and welcome to Healing Emotions. Excuse me, sorry. I am here with you today to share a few things about emotional triggers and trigger points. So, as I get started, I just want to share a few things about walking and talking with God and just being in His presence. I'm sorry, I'm going to move for a moment because that sun is kind of blinding me at the moment. Just one moment. Sorry about that. But I did want to just share. I wanted to share about healing motions. And the reason I started this is because I am a woman an African American woman who has dealt with a lot of different issues through my life. And it was a lot of problems that were causing me pain in my body. And I am sharing today because emotional triggers is a big issue and something that you have to understand and recognize how to deal with, or else they will take you down, literally. So, with that being said, if you don't know me, my name is Tabitha King, and I am the owner of Healing Motions. And I run a biblically based community where I share about how to live free from all the pain, the sorrow, and all the issues in your bodies and breaking free from those generational traumas and generational cycles of chronic illness. So, I wanted to share this morning, like I said, about emotional triggers and trigger point therapy. So I talk about trigger points because I went to school for massage therapy. And just the other day as I was working and I had been talking about emotional triggers for a little while now, and you will find that I've been sharing in my blog, and that's listed in the description below. But you will notice that trigger points come up in your body as knots, and they rise up in your body as a painful knot that um, most people say is like um, it's a tension that is really painful. Most people get them like right up under their shoulder blades or in their neck or in their back in the different places, some of them in their lower back. And so, and it can be anywhere, honestly. But with those trigger points, it comes to be an issue to where you're not really sure as to how it got there or why you're dealing with it. Well, I started to put two and two together and was looking at the trigger points and how they just rise up sometimes. You don't even know it's there. It just kind of comes up. And it can be either like right on the top of your skin where you see the knot, or it can be so deep under that when you're working, like I do deep tissue work sometimes, and I have to use my elbow, so that people will know that, hey, I can feel it now because you had to get deep in there to work it out. So when I started to work it out, I said, wait a minute, let's think about these emotional triggers that we deal with and the trauma that we deal with. Did you know that emotional trauma is something that can cause the same kind of pain to rise up in your body, the same kind of knots to rise up in your body? If you've dealt with something and then you kind of see something on TV or something just kind of triggers that emotion to come back up in your mind that you hadn't thought about in years, that can still cause that pain to come back up. And maybe you have an issue with panic attacks, and that can rise up that panic in your body. So it's important to deal with it when you notice it. What you must know is that the pain that we have dealt with in our lives, it is not something that you have to regret or feel sorry for. But what you must do is learn from it. Instead of just accepting the fact that that is the end result, understand that once you learn to be aware of your triggers, then you can start to deal with it so that you can heal from it. Until that time, you will still be just a victim of those emotions. Now, I'm going to share that, I shared in a book where I collaborated with some other ladies about years ago. I went through a date rape, and for a long time it had overpowered me to the point where I didn't understand how to move on. Even in different relationships, I had issues to where if I was touched in a certain way or talked to in a certain way, it just kind of triggered something in me that just kind of threw me off. It made me feel like I wasn't I wasn't thought of. I was basically just there, and it wasn't even that person. It was just something that was in my mind triggering those thoughts, because that's the place that I was harboring, didn't even know it. And that was something that was hidden inside of me and needed to come up, and I needed to become aware of those issues. So when I started to deal with it and I started to pray about it and ask God what I needed to do, He said, become transparent. Don't hide from it. Don't hide your situation, but deal with it. Let it go. If you hide it, you are not letting go and letting God work in that situation. You are taking over control, and it's becoming a part of you. It's becoming a stem to where you cannot live in that matter. You are building a root of anger. You are building a root of bitterness, and those roots have to be plucked up. And the way to do so, you have to start to learn how to deal with those issues. I was thinking about another issue that I dealt with was learning challenges. And I found out that, there is some, I was reading this morning about how racism can actually be a form of trauma. In fact, it is an issue of post traumatic stress disorder. And if you have dealt with any kind of racism in your life, it kind of causes you pain, and it can lead to chronic pain. Well, I was thinking about some things this morning and realizing that I dealt with some racism, but from my own people. And it really made me angry because, like I told you, I was being bullied, and when I was, well, maybe I didn't share it here, but I shared it on some of my posts, and I was dealing with some bullying, and people were calling me names and making me feel like I was ugly, and I dealt with a lot of different things, and even in my own family, I was being called stupid and idiot. And I would try to stay closer to the people who felt like I was smart. And it wasn't people of my own race, it was people of a different race. And because of that, I grew to have friends, of a different race. And I learned how to love them. But I was angry with my own people because of the way they treated me. Until one day God said, rise up, sister. You have a work to do. And it's for us to learn how to love ourselves and love others. And we can't love ourselves until we know who we are completely, who we are authentically. I used to put wigs on and used to fix my face up with the eyelashes and all the lipstick and stuff. Well, my husband doesn't like lipstick, so I don't wear it. But, you know, my appearance was so that, it was hiding. I was hiding behind my appearance until I understood that that was only keeping me from learning who I truly was. And I deal with a little bit of alopecia right now. And I was like, I don't want that to show in my head. And I was like afraid what people might think of me until one day I learned that God doesn't look on the outer appearance. He looked on the inward appearance. And oh my God, he gave me such a word when I learned how to love me for me and stop dwelling on what I look like on the outward appearance. Because what I look like does not matter as much as what my heart looks like. And my heart is for women who are dealing with chronic pain, who are dealing with that chronic illness and don't know how to get away from it. So, with that being said, I have this course called Heart Transformation, and it is phenomenal where God shows me how to help you to learn how to take control of your life and take care of your own heart. If you don't know how to take care of your own heart, then you can't be what you need to be for others. You need to learn how to love you so that you can love others. Learn how to be able to look in the mirror and say, I love you. be able to say that to yourself without feeling icky or feeling nasty. It's something that, you don't think about. It's those emotional traumas and those triggers that keep us from getting to the place of healing. But if we learn how to process those emotional triggers, learn how to keep from staying in that place of the trigger and learning how to deal with it, then can you live free as God has called us to. In the Bible, it tells us that by Jesus' stripes, we are made free, we are healed. We have to believe his truths. And until we learn how to understand his truth, then how can we live as he has for us to live? I thank God for myself and how he has blessed me. I thank God because he has allowed me to see who I really am without all of the makeup and the mask that I live behind. And I'm not telling you to stop wearing makeup and to stop doing this and that. I'll wear it every now and again because that's what I want to do in that moment. But in this very moment, I am showing you my authentic self because I'm proud of the person I am. In fact, this morning, I got up and I'm working on my goal to make it to 5 miles in 1 hour. I got to three, and then I got to four, and this morning I got to 4.69 in an hour. Praise be to God. It's not about me, it's all about God. And I'm telling you, it's only because of what you do for him, everything else will be added unto you. So you have to learn how to seek God first and learn how to come to where he wants you to be. I also have a signature program where I work with you for 6 months until you are on the verge of getting free from all of those issues that you are dealing with, and then you can get to the lifetime of wellness. In that 6 months, you will also have my heart transformation um, course, along with two other courses, which is my Healing Motions Boot Camp Intensive that I spoke 5 days. And you will have those videos along with Finding Hidden Forgiveness. You will have those trainings as well in this program. But in the 6 months, you will also have me in group coaching for weekly sessions where I will talk about mindset and emotions and breaking free from generational cycles and issues, and also establishing healthy relationships, learning how to say no to things that are not what you need, and learning how to say yes to what you need to be doing. So, sis, I hope and pray that this helps you on your journey. If in fact that you would like to have a discovery call with me and get to that activation of triumphing over your chronic illness and moving towards a lifetime of wellness, feel free. The discovery call schedule link is in the description, along with an introductory chat where we can talk and learn where you are and see what you need at this present time. If you just want to get one of my courses right now, feel free to do so also. I look forward to talking to you more about these certain things because it's time for healing. It's time to start restoring back to what God has for us. We are made in God's image. And until we learn how to restore our hearts back to him, we can't make it into heaven. If we are living our lives in this adult phase and always controlling everything, we cannot make it into heaven. We have to know his word and understand it for what it is. We have to know who we are and whose we are, and know how to get back to being authentically you. I love you, sis, and you have an awesome and blessed day. Take care and be blessed.